blowing up on social media. She says they show animals suffering.
10 Tampa Bay's Eric Glasser looks into it and has response from the sheriff's office that oversees the facility.
Well, Natalie Scott, who considers herself an animal lover and advocate, says she visited the Polk County Animal Shelter here in Winter Haven just before the July 4th holiday and has now been back twice since then. Worried, she says, about the cats and kittens here. And based upon the response to her social media post, others share that concern as well.
I've never seen anything like that, ever.
Natalie Scott says she wanted to cry when she took these photos of cats and kittens at the Polk County Animal Shelter.
The first kennel I saw was about 5 kittens. One of them looked dead. They were completely covered in filth and feces, no water.
Scott began snapping pictures of what she described as sweltering conditions. The felines inactive, lethargic. She says shelter workers would not let her take photos in other parts of the facility, which she described as even worse than what she could document.
You see glazed over eyes. You see cats panting, can barely breathe. It's horrific.
Scott says she posted the pictures she could take on her own social media pages. Images quickly shared by animal rights advocates.
It's not just a couple of crazy cat ladies. This is bigger than, I expected. I originally took those pictures just to put in my cat group to be like, dear God, this is what I saw today. I had no idea it was going to spread like fire.
We reached out to the Polk County Sheriff's Office, which operates animal control. The building, they say, has never been air conditioned, but there are fans in the kennel hallways to keep animals cool. In a statement, the Sheriff's Office in part called Scott's post lies and complete fiction. Animals at the shelter, they say, were not and are not in distress. At least
New tonight, we're getting answers to the concerns several of you shared with me on Polk County Animal Control. And now take a look at this. It's video sent to us that we're told was taken inside the Polk County Animal Shelter in 2023. It appears to show roaches inside a dog's food bowl, and the dog is there beside the bowl inside its kennel. We also heard from a former employee, a local rescue group, and multiple community members who spoke to our Chad Mills here, who joins us now in studio. And when you started looking into their worries, you found data that also raised even more red flags, right?
That's right, and we have the data right here, provided to us directly from Polk County. It shows hundreds of dogs died at the animal control shelter last year, but not from euthanasia. They died for other reasons. Why did you want to sit here today?
For the animals.
We've concealed his face and changed his voice because this man, we'll call him Joe, feels like he could face retaliation for what he's about to say. And for the record, do you have an axe to grind or any other reason to sit here and tell us these things other than shedding light on the issues?
I absolutely do not. It is these animals that I care about.
Joe is a recent employee of Polk County Animal Control, and he sits for this interview to expose what he saw, heard, and smelled there.
This eats him. This eats him every night. I could have been. I pray for every single one of those dogs, unless somebody won't make them out alive. And that is the hard part.
Polk County Animal Control is a kill shelter. Despite a greater effort to become a no-kill county, the county shelter still has a long way to go. According to records we got from the University of Florida, the county shelter's live outcome rate is 58%, which means 42% of animals don't leave here alive. But that's not the main reason we started asking questions about what's happening at Polk County Animal Control. What caught our eye was a different record. This one, right here. In 2024, 401 dogs and cats combined died in the shelter for unknown reasons not related to euthanasia. And 564 animals escaped from the shelter, most of those cats. When you look around the state, those numbers raise a red flag. Hillsborough County Shelter takes in a similar number of animals compared to Polk, but almost 200 fewer died in Hillsborough County's care, and only 3 animals total escaped. Again, almost 600 animals escaped from Polk County. Next, consider Orange County. It also takes in a similar number of animals, but just 145 animals died in Orange County's care in 2024, and just 5 escaped. Finally, take a look at Miami-Dade. It takes in more than double the amount of dogs and cats compared to Polk, but had a smaller number of dogs and cats that died or were lost while in care.
we would find a lot of times in the morning dead animals, whether cats or dogs in their kennel that had died overnight.
Joe, the recent employee of Polk County Animal Control, says illness was common inside the shelter and veterinary care was limited.
Some dogs that would be there would be pregnant with puppies, and fortunately the puppies, of course, died along with the mother.
Because there's no care there overnight.
Overnight, I was not aware of any bed or any medical processes for an overnight period.
Joe also told us about conditions inside the shelter, which he said were not up to par. He sent us this video, which he says he recorded in 2023, of cockroaches inside a dog's food bowl.
The conditions of the kennels were in very bad shape, especially for the dogs. Sometimes they would cut themselves with the jagged wires that were used to protect it, or the chain link fencing itself being sharp-edged. And the smell is of an ungodly nature. It is overwhelming, and it attracts flies. It attracts other infestations.
In the past, the county has said dogs and cats are housed in an area with huge fans and a ventilation system. But Joe says the shelter would feel frigid on cold days and sweltering in the summer.
I never saw a thermometer, but these fans are ceiling mounted. Were above the kennels. They blow, I found, in my opinion, hot air.
Polk County Animal Control is run by the Sheriff's Office. More than a month ago, we asked the Sheriff's Office for an interview to answer our questions about what's happening at Animal Control. We also asked to shoot video inside the shelter so we could see the conditions firsthand. In an email, a spokesperson for the Sheriff's Office declined our request for an interview and also told us we wouldn't be allowed to record video of the animals here. Quote, "Our animals are